I, Ngeno Benard Kipkorir, do swear that the information that I'm going to give before this committee on the matter under its consideration is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you very much. You can hand over your credentials to Sajida Tams. Honorable Benard, just for your sake, we will do a brief introduction of ourselves. I am the chair, Speaker Cosmas Kodir. On my right, from this point, Honorable Diaz. Oh, left, sorry. It's your right. Oh, it's your left again. How is it? No, your right. And introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Leonard Rotich, MCA Jeso Ward, and Deputy Speaker for Met County Assembly, and also member of this committee. Yeah, welcome.
Honorable Ngeno, my name is Eric Kirui, MCA Kimulat Ward, and a member of this committee. Welcome. Yeah.
Thank you, Speaker. Honorable Ngeno, I'm Paul Kirui, MCA and Anaboli Ward, leader of majority and also a member to this committee. Welcome.
Welcome. My name is Honorable Roslyn Chepto, MCA representing Rongena Manaret Ward.
And I'm Honorable Kipet, and member of this committee, and Shongre Ward.
There are other members, but it seems they've stepped out. Nonetheless, you're highly welcome. Briefly, in 2 minutes, tell us about yourself.
Okay, Chair, thank you very much, and the honorable members of this committee. I'm Honorable Benard Ngeno, a resident of Kapletunda Ward, born there and raised there, and I started my education in Chebirbele Primary School in the year 1991, and went through the system up to class 8, where I sat for my KCPE exam, and I passed my exam and joined Litain High School in the year 2001 as a Form 1. In Litain Boys High School, I got an opportunity of getting exposed to various leadership positions. I was the prefect in charge of the dormitory, and also for one of the leaders for various organizations like religious organizations, where I was the secretary. After my Form 4, I sat for my exam, and I passed successfully. I got a B+, and I got a chance to join Mo University to pursue a degree in business management. I did my degree. That took me 4 years, and also I was lucky to get involved also in the leadership positions in campus. I was elected as one of the student representatives in campus, as well as being one of the officials in some of the religious organizations. So after 4 years, I graduated in the year 2011 with a bachelor's degree in business management, second upper division. After that, I was lucky. I was considered in one of the schools or one of the colleges in Kericho School of Professional Studies. I was engaged as a tutor, where I served from 2011 to 2012 as a tutor that were teaching purchasing and supplies. After some times, I was promoted to be the deputy principal of the school, of the college, and in 2013, I resigned and fight for the position of member of County Assembly, Kapletunda Ward. So I was successfully elected in 2013 as the first MCA of Kapletunda Ward. And again, when I came to this assembly, when I look around, it has completely changed. We were the first group. We came here when the assembly was not the assembly. This is the assembly now. So from there, I served for the 5-year term, running from 2013 to 2017. And during that period, I was given the opportunity to serve in various committees, one of them being Budget and Appropriation Committee, where I was the vice chair when Aurelia Rono, who is currently the PS, was the chair. And after some times, I was given opportunity to serve as the chair. So I served as a chair until the end of the term in 2017. So during that period, we had an opportunity to interact with various legislative agenda or activities, and we were involved in several activities to do with budget making process. I was in a position also to head to be the head of the budget committee that passed 4 appropriation bills. And after my term in 2017 expired, I tried to fight for the position of Member of Parliament Sauti constituency, and I was not lucky. So after some times, the position of the CECs in 2018 were advertised, and I developed interest and applied. During the regime of the late Governor Joyce Laboso, where our governor was then the deputy governor of Bomet. So I was lucky, I was considered. I went through this house, and I want to thank the members of the then County Assembly. I successfully went through and passed in this house and became the CEC in charge of trade, tourism, industry, and energy. When I was sworn in, I served for around 3 months, and I was given the opportunity to act in the position of the CEC in charge of youth, gender, sports, and culture, where I acted for 1 year, and after some times, I was given the opportunity to fully act substantively as the CEC in charge of youth, gender, sports, and culture. During that period, we did a lot. I hope we will get time to interact on what we did during that period. But after some 2 years, we lost our governor. So we lost our captain in the middle of the game, and as provided for in the Constitution, the cabinet was dissolved, and some were retained, and I was not lucky, I was not retained, so I went home for 2 years. In the year 2021, the position of the Executive Affairs, Chief Officer Executive Affairs was advertised, and I developed interest because I believed in the manifesto of the late Governor Joyce and the current Governor, Professor Hilary Barchok. So I applied for the position of the Chief Officer, and I was shortlisted. I went for the interview, and when I was nominated to this house, I came for vetting exercise, and I'm happy again the Assembly approved my name. So I became the CEO in charge of Executive Affairs in the year 2021 up to 2022 towards 2023. So from there, after the election, I've never gotten any chance to secure any chance or any job opportunity. But here, when I'm happy I was appointed by the governor, now I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we pretty much now know you, and we have your resume with us. So kindly tell this committee, now that you've been a CEC before, you've been nominated to also hold another serious position. How do you hope to, or what is new that you'll bring?
Pardon?
What insights or what, I don't know how to put it, what is it that you will bring that is new, that you had not done so before? Or what the other predecessors who are there were not able to do? If you come in the people or the citizens of Bomet will say that you have done this or you are going to do this. Tell us what you are going to do.
Thank you, Chair.
That will be different from what other people have done.
Thank you, Chair. Since I've served in a different capacity from this one, where I was given to act as to be the CC in charge of sports as well as trade, Mr. Speaker, Chair, I was not in a position to implement the plan that I had for the period that I was supposed to serve, because after the demise of the governor, I only served for 1 year, 7 months. Now, given this chance, something different that I will do is to make sure that the policies that have never been drafted, the legislations that are going to help this county government make progress, are the ones that I'm going to come up with, enacted through this assembly, and we make sure that we achieve the dream of this county, that the people of this county have. Second, Chair, is that
I see that now that you are here, you still, you are so used to the word, Mr. Speaker. Here is the Chair.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry. Chair, the unity that is required for us to progress, to make progress as the county government, where the assembly is independent, but sometimes we are interdependent. We need each other. I will bring the unity that is required so that we make progress as the county government of Bomet. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable, just a minute. Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Ngeno.
Yes.
I hope you are aware that recently 3 executive committee members in the county government were removed from office by way of impeachment.
Very aware.
Because of various violation of the law. If you are approved to this position by this assembly, how will you handle accountability terms of use of public funds? Accountability in terms of use of public funds.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Member. One, I'll always try to be transparent and making sure that I consult this Honorable House and also the Cabinet, so that every activity that we are to engage in or implementation of programs that needs to be done must be done in consultation, through consultation with this Honorable House. 2, observing the law also is one of the issues that I will always do, because you cannot be accountable if you are not observing the law. So I'll always be ready and open to suggestions from this Honorable House, the committee, and also to make sure that we always engage in a common goal. That way we shall not clash. And I know that accountability also, that transparency is what is necessary, because the role of this Honorable House is to play oversight. So every document that is asked in this Honorable House, I will always avail and make sure that we read from the same page with the Honorable members. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Eric.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Ngeno, in 2020-2021, Bomet County collected revenue amounting to 202 million, whereas Homa Bay collected revenue, on-source revenue amounting to 224. Fast forward to 2023-2024. 224. That's the Homa Bay. In 2023-2024, Bomet collected 238, whereas Homa Bay collected 1.2 billion. In your analysis, what do you think Bomet missed out on, so that Homa Bay was at the same level in 2020, 2021, and in 2023-2024 they are miles, but we are at 1 billion apart, because Bomet only increased their on-source revenue by that 6 million. What do you think Bomet County missed out on?
Thank you, Honorable Member. First, it is not possible for us to survive alone on shareable revenue that comes from the national government. On-source revenue is going to enable us to fight the challenges that we have of wage bill and also the issues to do with the ballooning wage bill and also issues to do with pending bills. Because the target that is always set must be met. So the challenges that we are facing as a county government, because you have brought the comparison between Bomet County and Homa Bay County. I've tried to interact with what is happening in Homa Bay County, because Bomet County could be having challenges, but I want to give the positive side of what is happening in Homa Bay County. One, they have what we call County Revenue Board. This County Revenue Board is the one that is in charge of the collection of all the revenues across the county. But us, we don't have. So given opportunity, I'll be in a position to establish, through the enactment of laws, that is going to help us establish County Revenue Board. This County Revenue Board will be independent, and in county government of Homa Bay, it is headed by the CEO, which is equivalent to that of the KRA. So given opportunity, we have to start by putting up County Revenue Board. Secondly, leakages in this county government compared to Homa Bay what we are witnessing in Bomet is different from what we witness in Homa Bay, because in Homa Bay, they adopted a policy where they engage in cashless transaction, automation of systems. But in Bomet, maybe we are still lagging behind, but we don't complain. We can pick from where we are and move forward. Cashless transaction is going to seal the loopholes that are existing in our system. So in Homa Bay County, they engage in total ban of cash transactions. Then they use PayBill and other means, but they don't encourage use of cash, because when somebody is given cash, he can be tempted to spend. But when it goes to the system, it can be monitored. And again, in the office of the governor, they have a server where the governor can monitor flow of revenues in real time. In Bomet, we have to upgrade the system that we have. And if it is not working, we need to do the audit and see whether this system is helping us. Thirdly, the collection of revenues in Homa Bay County among the administrators or those who are collecting revenues are not salaried. They are given on commission. They are paid based on what they have collected. So that motivation lacks here, because we need to engage them to give us revenue, to be paid based on what they have collected. But what we lack here is that, they entirely rely on the payroll, so that when they don't collect, still they will earn their salary. They can even sleep at home, and still they will get their salary. But if the implementation of this commission-based will be in a position for them to work harder, so that when they collect more, they will earn more. That is what we shall instill in the system, given this chance.
Oh, thank you. Fair enough.
So I wanted to clear with the figures that you gave me.
Yeah.
So when it was implemented in Homa Bay County in 2022, the revenue shot from 498 million to 1.2 billion, which was an increase of 235% in one financial year. It is even possible for us also to do that, to implement the same policy and increase the OSR for this county.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. You've mentioned something about leakages. Can you speak to it? Because officers that are involved in collection of revenue are sometimes involved in revenue leakages. What are some of the measures that you want to institute so that we avoid leakages within the county while those officers collect on-source revenue?
One, if we shall embrace the cashless transaction, we will be in a position to ensure that every coin that is collected is deposited in the account, revenue account, which is based in KCB. Because when they collect cash, what is happening is that when they are doing balancing, the issues that we have in this system are this way. There are some that are more liquid. I call them more liquid because when you are given cash, you can pocket, you can spend that same day. And there is this revenue that comes from the rates. So as we need to split those that comes from the rates so that we will account them differently. And those that are collected maybe from shops and also and other sources could be treated differently, because what we are witnessing now, the debt that these people who own properties have kept on rising, because when money is collected that is liquid, somebody can spend and add a figure to the pending debt from these owners of the property. So what we have to do is to split the two first, so that by doing so we will be in a position to seal the loopholes that are existing in the system. Secondly, I've told you how we can motivate them so that they can increase the revenue collection through this system and regular checks. We need to be doing regular checks so that somebody could be moving around with 10,000 that has been collected last week from Chebunya market for the whole week without making deposits. So if we shall be doing regular checks, we'll be in a position to know how much was collected in Kapwen, for example, or Chebunya in that same day. So by doing regular checks, we shall be in a position to know whether we are growing or we are not growing. So that way we shall be sealing the loopholes. And when we shall put this board in place, it will be in a position to monitor. That way we shall be sealing the loopholes.
Thank you. You must be. You've alluded to the fact that you are aware that they have a county revenue collection management system in Bomet County.
Yes.
There's a huge investment that has gone into it, over 60 million that was paid for the system, but results have not been felt in the county. What are the specific measures that you will seek to undertake for any technological investment in the future, so that the county will not lose on their investment, so that we get a good return on investment?
Okay, honorable member, I'm not aware whether 60 million was allocated, but if the system exists and we are not benefiting from that system, the first thing that I will do when I'll get this chance is to do the audit to see whether there is any benefit we are getting from this system or not. Secondly, the administrators of these revenue administrators could be skipping this system. You know, they have two alternatives because we have not banned cash transactions. So they have this system in place. They cannot pay through PayBill, but they will have another alternative of earning this revenue or getting this revenue through cash. So the reason as to why maybe the revenue is not growing or increasing even after adopting automating the system is because maybe that is the source of their salary. They may not have gotten motivation. They may not be getting other. They are not motivated. That way, they will be spending the money and trying to sabotage, bringing in sabotage to show that it is not working, so that we go back to the cash transactions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Would you speak further to the system that you would want to implement? If you're the designer of the system, what would be the system-specific oriented specifications that you'd give for that system to work effectively for revenue collection?
Yeah, the system that I believe that we shall come up with is the one that is very flexible. you find that sometimes in these markets, if we shall come in with use of pay bills, sometimes you find that there are women who don't have even phones, so you'll be forced to use the cash system. But this system is the one that is going to be rolled out gradually. It cannot be instant, because if you do instant implementation of cashless transaction, we may be in a position to lock out some of the taxpayers or those taxpayers who are willing to pay, and not those who are willing to pay revenue. So by locking them out, we shall not be in a position to achieve. The system that we need to roll out is, one, we will do benchmarking first with the counties that have succeeded. I may not have interacted with any of the system, but given this opportunity, I will be in a position to do benchmarking with counties like Laikipia and Homa Bay. Go and establish to see their system that they have in place, so that we roll out in our county and implement. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Ngeno, okay, in our county, the development expenditure has actually lagged behind. And every year, in year out, we've always been having money which has not been spent. Having money which has not been observed. In the financial year 2022-2023, the Auditor General also reported that the wage bill is far much above the required standard. It is talking of 44%. The wage bill in our county, the standard is 35%. I hope you are aware. Now, also recently, there were cases in the county where the court ruled that the employees who went to court are reinstated. They are employed. And also the counties will be required to pay salaries, and even including the arrears. Having seen that, if you are approved in this position, what will you do as a county executive member to address the anomaly of the huge wage bill? That is question number one. Question number two. Considering the two scenarios, that is the issue of wage bill and the court cases, what policy intervention will you put in place to make sure that the county intervene in those two cases? That is question number two. And then number three, what specific reforms will you introduce to improve the absorption rates for development projects, especially in critical sectors like the infrastructure and health? I think I've made myself clear.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Kindly address the three questions.
Through the chair, thank you, honorable member. All of us, we have interacted with the PFM Act, and there is what we call fiscal responsibility principle. This fiscal responsibility principle dictates that the wage bill should not exceed 35% of the total allocation of the financial year. If it is at 44%, it must have been caused by several factors. Factor number one is the issue of the unrealized targets in revenue collection. These things are very connected because, like for example, I've tried to interact with your budget where you have approved a budget of 7.25 million, but since the CARA Act was approved, when it was approved, a figure was reduced by around 230 million. If that figure is reduced, it means there are some activities that are sacrificed, and by doing so, you may have committed this money. So this figure that we have is going to be solved by enhancing revenue collection, because on-source revenue is going to enable us get more money so that it will increase the money to spend. That way we shall be reducing that figure from 44% to around 35% in trying to be in line with the requirement of the law, that is BFM Act. Number two, the wage bill that we have may have come in as a result of coast workers. What we have to do is that serious audit needs to be done so that if there are coast workers in the system, they need to be weeded out and give an opportunity for them to get these positions through Public Service Board. So what is causing this figure maybe to shoot up is because of that. And now you've said there is a court order to reinstate the staff who are working in the Department of Revenue, or all the departments? All the departments.
Yes, all of them.
This is a huge task that requires commitment and tough decisions to be made, because if they have been reinstated, I will still seek consultation from the legal department to give us advice on the way forward, because I'm not a lawyer, but I will seek advice from the legal office to enable us to fix these problems on the issues of law. But on matters finance, it is always good to make decisions, hard decisions. But the first step that we will take so that we reduce this percentage is to enhance revenue collection. Like there are several revenue streams that may not have been tapped, untapped revenue streams. I remember there was a directive from the governor that every department must work hard to ensure that they collect revenue from their departments. Like for example, the Department of Roads have opportunities of collecting more revenues. If we shall be relying on what we collect from the quarry alone, I think it is high time that we change the strategy so that somebody may have been given tender to do maraming of a road. In the PQ, it is very specific that if 200 trips or lorries trips are to be used in a construction of a given road, then it means in the Department of Roads, instead of relying on what is collected in the quarry, we have to make an arrangement with a contractor before the tender is awarded to make payments of the trips to the county government coffers, so that when we generate this revenue, it will enable us also to increase the revenue basket of this county. In the Department of Education, for example, what they are doing in these polytechnics, we can even agree and come up with a policy that will enable us for them to do furnitures for ECD schools and become a mandatory for every contractor who, or every supplier who is taking furnitures to these schools to buy from these polytechnics. That way we shall be earning revenue from untapped areas. In the Ministry of Tourism, we are bordering Narok County, where the revenue in tourism is what is giving the county government of Narok to make progress more than Bomet. We are bordering this county. So what we will do is to encourage the Department of Tourism so that they do tourism mapping. And by doing so, we shall be earning from cultural tourism and the tourism sector. So by doing so, I'm giving an example of areas that have not been untapped. So by doing so, we shall be increasing revenue. I was giving an example. So the solution, the greatest solution that will reduce this figure to be in line with the fiscal responsibility principle is by reducing 35%, 44% to 35% by increasing the basket. You have talked of the second question, the policy intervention. That will solve the problem of wage bill. This cannot be done independently by the Department of Finance. It can be done through consultation with the Department of Administration through public service. So the intervention measures that will solve this problem is the solution that I've given. We need to come up with a firm policy that is going to make sure that we increase revenue in every department. That way, we shall be in a position to solve this problem. And finally, on the absorption rate, honestly, I have not interacted with the report from the controller of budget, and allow me not to respond to this because I did not go through the document. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Changmori.
Thank you, Chair. Welcome, Honorable Ngeno. There's a problem being we have come to realize as the oversight body on payment. Normally when the money comes to Bomet, how will you manage so that all departments get the something to be paid in the projects that are being completed? You'll find some other departments, they are complaining that we didn't even notice that the money has come. We didn't even notice the payment. There is some complaint. So, as you know, your colleague was removed from office on such issues. So, how will you manage that issue? That is question number one. Question number two, you will be in charge of. You are in charge. That office is in charge of assets, the county assets, like lands. We have vehicles. And all, even multinational, is part of county. So, how will you? What do you have on the assets, maintaining of assets in our counties? Number three is the valuation report. It is good that you are in the first assembly and you are insisting very much on this issue. You have been giving us pressure during that time on the same issue of valuation report. How will you make this to happen?
Okay, thank you very much, Chair. Allow me to start with the last one, the violation role. Honorable members, I was lucky to have served as one of the committee members for Budget and Appropriation Committee. And the first proposal that we put forward was to come up with a valuation role. And I'm happy at least you have made progress. The last time I checked is that you are almost at 80% the valuation role. So I'm coming in at a time when you are at 80%, meaning I have confidence that given this opportunity, this time, we shall be in a position to complete this exercise, and if this valuation role will be in place, it will be a game changer, because what you have witnessed in the estates, the rates that we are experiencing, or that we are using at the moment, is the rates that have not been revised, maybe from 1960s. So if this valuation role will be in place, it will be in a position to help us achieve the revenue target that you have set for this financial year or next financial year, and it will enable us, it can even double the figure, because the revenue potential of this county is even going up to 1 billion. So if we shall be serious by making sure that this valuation rule is in place, we shall be in a position to increase the revenue collection even up to a tune of 1 billion. People will be surprised, like what happened in Homa Bay, the one I gave an explanation on. So I know it is with the assembly, and if I'll be given chance to serve as the CC in charge of finance, I will pursue this matter on valuation role and make sure that it is implemented to the letter. Because the rates, this the owners of these properties are willing to pay. What we shall simply do is to do sensitization and carry out public participation for them to be aware that the valuation rule that we are coming up with is going to change the rates from, let's say, figure A to figure B. So that we read from the same page, we shall embrace a stakeholder engagement so that they will agree and not challenge even through court what we already have, the document that we already have. Number 2 is on the prioritization of payments. Given chance to be the CEC in charge of finance, we will engage in a first in, first out basis. The contractor that did some work 5 months ago, and the one that has completed, that will complete, let's say tomorrow or the day after, needs to give us an opportunity to make decision on whether to start with the latest, or the one that came first. So the only policy that will apply here is on the basis of first in, first out. Secondly, on the issue of the wage bill, on the issue of the pending bills that we already have, I'm happy you came up with the report. I've read through the report. The recommendations that are there in the report will enable us also to run very smoothly, because there are some works that are going on now and the pending bills that we have, and we need to shoulder all of them as a county government. So the recommendations that you gave will help us solve this problem of wage bill, and going forward, the basis will be on FIVO, first in, first out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Ngeno, you are aware that we have a big monster in Bomet, and that one is pending bill. In the last financial year, we had a pending bill of 884 million. And it costed us in the last financial year, because the money which we budgeted, especially in Department of Roads, was used to pay pending bills. And we were not able to have any projects done in our wards. Some of the reasons which contribute to these pending bills is the coast projects. As you are aware, what is going on outside is that if you want to be rich in Bomet County, you have to have a rubber stamp. I know that is what is happening now. So, and that rubber stamp is that someone can just generate a rubber stamp and given a RFQ and later being paid. If given chance to be the CEC in finance, how will you manage and identify the real projects which has been done and the cost projects? Another question is that we are aware that we have the suppliers, the genuine suppliers and contractors. What specific steps will you take to ensure that timely payment of these suppliers and contractors and being paid the genuine one? The last question is concerning the internal audits. We are aware that the county government has the internal auditors, where we normally budget in the Department of Economic Planning on what they are supposed to do, and especially supervise in auditing the project which has been done. And surprisingly, we are getting some projects which are being paid, and yet we have this department, the auditors, who are supposed to give us the right projects which has been done. Given chance, what will you consider to ensure that this department is working in Bomet County? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member, through the Chair. Allow me to respond to the monster that has been put forward by Honorable Member, Honorable Chipto, that they are, according to I told you before that I've gone through the report from the Budget and Appropriation Committee. I've seen the recommendations. But first, since there was a task force that came up with the first report, and eventually the Budget and Appropriation Committee banned the midnight oil to ensure that that document is in place. Those are the key documents that needs to be used. It went further to classify these projects as being genuine and others eligible and non-eligible. So it is very clear. The roadmap is already there. The direction to take is already there. So if given chance to be the CEC in charge of finance, the first step, since we may have tried the two documents, but we may not have gotten the real answers that we want, the first step is to invite to conduct a special audit from the Auditor General to give us the true and the real position of these pending bills, so that we shall know whether it is true that those that have been classified as being genuine are indeed genuine. Those that are not genuine, we will find a way on how to fix that problem. So the first step is to invite for a special audit. If a classroom was not constructed, it was not constructed. There is no two ways about it. Issues to do with documentations that were not done. If it was not done, then it means procurement procedure was not followed. So the law was broken from the beginning. The Public Procurement and Disposal Act is very clear on the procedures to follow in awarding tender. If it was not followed, it was not followed. So the first step is to make sure that these projects, that we call them cost projects, are audited, so that we get a true picture of the true position of our pending bills. We could be talking about 884 million, but the figure may be lower than that because of the procedure was not followed. So, and where possible, if there are some staff who work with the Department of Procurement, who assisted in engaging in this fraudulent exercise, needs to be disciplined because the law was broken. Finally, on this issue of the genuine suppliers, here it will be possible for us to increase the revenue basket of this county. That way we shall be getting more money, so that to offset or to pay these contractors who did their work genuinely, and some may have been auctioned and are no longer in their financial state that they were in before they were given these contracts. We are mindful about their welfare, and we shall solve this problem by enhancing the collection of revenue. And I said, while we want to solve this issue of pending bills, we also want, through the honorable members, you have the responsibility to deliver to the electorates. There are new projects that needs to be done. We shall be balancing between the two. And by doing so, we shall be in a position to stabilize as a county government. Yeah.
Honorable Kibet.
Yes.
Ngeno,
yes.
There was the last question of auditors, the internal audit.
Maybe I did not get...
Are those two, is that a different question?
Yeah, it was a different.
You had asked. Probably you
maybe
need to...
she can repeat.
Okay. The last question was that we have the internal auditors in Bomet County.
Yes.
And we normally budgeted for them to ensure that before any project is being paid, they are the ones supposed to go and inspect and see whether the project is there. I just wanted to know, because that department is dormant, what you will do to ensure that that department is functional.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Member. Yeah, indeed, the Department of Internal Audit is there, and the role of this department is to ensure that it gives the county government the direction to take whenever we are on the wrong, before the Auditor General comes to conduct the annual audit. That is the Auditor General. You are asking whether there is any laxity in the department, so that the challenges that we are facing may have been caused by the laxity among the staff who work in that department. And again, you have done the allocation of funds to this department, but you don't see the results. Maybe, since I may not have worked before in that department, and I know, given chance, it is you, the honorable members, because I said from the beginning that consultation is key. I will be consulting this honorable house to give me areas that needs to be fixed, and I will do it. That is one of the departments that lies under the Department of Finance. And that is the first assignment that I will undertake as the CEC in charge of finance. If there is laxity, it is always good for somebody to give way to somebody else who is willing to work. Thank you.
Honorable Kibet. And I have two questions that I would like to ask, and our nominee in the, when did you serve as a CC and CC and CEO respectively? Not really respectively. When did you serve as CC?
Okay, thank you, honorable member. I served as the CC from 2018 to 2019 for 2 years. And I served in two departments: trade, tourism and industry, and then youth, gender, sports and culture. Yes.
Okay, and then and circumstances surrounding the completion of stadium, which of course by then you are the CC.
Yes.
For sports.
Yes.
If I'm not wrong. You promised to complete it.
Yes.
And allocate 75 million towards this completion.
Yes.
How is the status of that IWF currently? Are they injecting the same 75 million?
Honorable member, I got an opportunity to serve for only 2 years in the Department of Youth, Gender, Sports and Culture. And of course, indeed, that was the first assignment that I got in the office when I was sworn in as the CEC in charge of sports. By then, I was an acting CEC. So previously, that stadium is having history. In the first assembly, that stadium was constructed from 2014 to 2017. It was constructed on labor-based contract. So when I came in as the CEC in charge of sports, because it was very hard to account for what you have spent. When it is contract-based, we saw through the audit reports that came to this honorable house that it was not possible to account for what was injected in that project. So when we came in 2018, the first step that I took as the CEC in charge of that department was to change the approach, to award the tender to a contractor, so that the contractor will give us the duration that it will take for the stadium to be completed. Number two, the amount that was required, because valuation was done in that stadium, and by that time, it was not structurally sound. So hence, it invited the departments of public works to do more, to study and see how they were going to change to solve the problem that was at hand, because it was not structurally sound. So through the intervention of the Department of Public Works, they came up with a different PQ of 256 million to complete that stadium. So from there, I requested this Honorable House to approve, to give us more allocations for the construction of this stadium. But since it was not possible to put that figure, that total of 256 million, and yet the ceiling for the department was standing at 230 million, it was not possible to consume the entire allocation for the construction of the stadium. So what we did was to spread, to do it in phases. So the first allocation that I witnessed as the CEC in that department was an allocation of 50 million. It was an allocation of 50 million. But along the way, when supplementary budget was done, it was reallocated by the Honorable House. You know, priorities do change. So when they reallocated, it was not possible as a department to continue with the project. So the work that was done is equivalent to the value of 14 million that was paid to the contractor, and the tender was terminated because it did not continue from there. I don't know, since I left that office in 2019, I cannot give the details of what we have as at now, because I'm giving the details of what I experienced when I was the CEC in charge.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Additionally, and I've studied your performance while serving as a CC and CEO. I can say I didn't see exceptional performance, or rather the policies that you have championed on the two and dockets. So I want to ask you particular issues that surround your tenure while serving at the CEC, and I've noted serving at the same. When you were the CEO, there was allocation for the purchase of a van. The van or the pass. I hope you know.
Yes.
Can you tell us how did it furnish?
Okay.
Because the other time it was being branded. The second time you say it is being delivered.
Okay.
All of a sudden, nothing.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Member. Let me be clear and specific on this issue, because when I was the CC in charge of sports, the main aim that we had as a department was to support these teams that were in Division 1, Division 2, and I don't know whether we call them Champions Leagues or something. There is Category 3. So the first group that we had that was in Division 1 was Silipwet FC and Sotik FC. And every time they had games, because they were in Division 1, they were going outside Rift Valley or even past Nairobi, so they didn't have means of transport. So what we decided as a department was we had an intention to procure. It was not the time when I was the CEO. It was the time when I was the CEC in charge of sports. So the first step that we took was to do the leveling of the fields, so that we give them facilities, the training grounds, so that every time they are training in different sub-counties, they were going to train there. So what we did was to make sure that we do a leveling of fields in every sub-county, and I did that. In Bomet East, it is in Tegat. If you have visited those areas, I did the leveling of Tegat Stadium, and then we have Chemgaina. Another one is in Konoin, Mogonjet. Another one is in Chebirbelek and St. Michael. 5 of them. Within one financial year. The second step that we took was to procure now a bus for Silipwet that was going to serve the entire county. And in the next financial year, we had plans to procure one for Sotik. That way, we were trying to make sure that by the end of the 5 years, we have 5 buses for every sub-county. So since I served for only 2 years, we made an allocation to purchase a bus for Silibwet FC that was going to be shared between Sotik and Silibwet. But since the budget was reallocated before procurement was done, it was not possible for the department to continue to purchase that vehicle. So in short, it was not purchased until the time when the president came to Silipwet Stadium and the Silipwet FC requested for a bus. That is when the president now made a contribution alongside the contribution from our governor, professor, that enabled now the team now to procure that bus. So it was not purchased through the department. And the branding maybe was only being done in social media. Otherwise it was not procured. Thank you.
I think on the interest of time, I'll ask you one more question. There is somebody called Wilberson Kirui who is asking how you will implement F in F and also A in A.
Implementing?
F in F and also A in A. I think A in A is appropriation in aid, and the other one first in, first out, to encourage departmental motivation and to create competition in resource mobilization. I think it is in relation to on-source revenue. Now, there are some other questions that have been raised by the members of the public that I'd want to share with you. Honorable Ngeno, some members of the public are accusing you of bad-mouthing on the society and insults to several people. I cannot mention who. That is one accusation. Another one is that you are very good in violence. You are reputable in violence. During your tenure as your MCA, as the MCA, you harassed and even beat up a resident of Firaim. I don't know how true that one is. Another one is that you have a bad reputation with the community. In your tenure as a CEO administration, you arrested a resident. I don't know who this resident is, but someone is insinuating that you arrested someone for reasons best known to you. They are also saying you are very corrupt, that you've been collecting money from residents, claiming this from residents, claiming it comes from the governor. It's for the governor.
Claiming?
Hello?
Claiming?
Claiming that it is for the governor, and also that you've not been supporting the county agenda. These are concerns from the public. If you have anything, you can answer that.
Okay.
And also the last one, I don't know, because I've seen your documents and there's a letter from Equity Bank discharging you from the obligation that you are supposed to pay up. What is the situation now?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chair. You know, it is very expensive to join politics, and especially when you join politics when you are very young. So I joined politics when I was young, at the age of 25 years, and during that period, I may have engaged my competitor in a tough battle, and every time you win an election, obviously, your competitor will always remain your enemy. It happens in every environment. Even these honorable members can bear me witness. And again, being a leader, you are loved and hated in equal measure. So if you expect everybody to clap for you, then you are not a human being. So it is always there, and it happens. So let me go one by one. Honorable Chair. Oh, the issue of bad mouthing, I think that is just an allegation, because we have been in different forums as leaders, as politicians, and especially when I was an MCA. Of course, you compete for resources, and every time a supporter of your competitor, you are engaging as your competitor, their supporters will always take you as being bad-mouthing them. But I always believe that what I say, I always, they lack evidence. These accusations, I know, they lack evidence. It is just an allegation. That one, I may not even respond to in details about it, because it's hard for myself to change. I mean, I cannot pretend to be who I am not. So maybe the voice that comes from my mouth always sound like it goes that way. Anyway, let me respond to that of violence. It is not true, because if it has any attached OP, then it means somebody was assaulted. I have never ever assaulted anyone since I was elected in 2013 as an MCA. Mm-hmm. Those ones, but propaganda cannot miss in social media platforms, radio stations. It is always normal. It's a norm in every political environment for such propagandas to be in place. Bad reputation, I don't know. I cannot respond to that because I don't know, because I don't have any criminal record so far. I have never engaged in any corrupt activity, and I have never been. I've never engaged in any of this, Mr. Speaker. I hope these are just allegations. And on the county agenda.
On the county agenda, yes.
I support the county agenda for the late. I supported for the late Governor Joyce. I'm the one who championed the manifesto for both the governor and the deputy. And when our governor took over, I'm the one who is always in forefront, supporting the agenda of this county. And whenever I'm given responsibilities, I've always done it. And it is not possible for you to serve in a department where you don't support what you are doing. So even if I'm given this chance, many people will perceive me as if I don't support maybe the agenda of the governor or the county. But I want actions to speak, because they say actions speaks louder than words. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think you've clarified the issues.
There's one you asked for the Equity Bank.
Or the relation with the bank. Okay, sorry.
Oh, the status, okay. On that one, because it is a private affair, I've been, I was badly affected by when I lost my job in 2019, 2020. And during that period, you remember, it was during COVID period. And I had a loan with that bank. I serviced, and when I got the chance to be the CEO, I honestly serviced my loan, and I think I'm almost done, and I'm in good records.
No, I've just checked.
In addition, yes,
I've just checked with the CRB, and your records are clean on that.
They're very clean, because additionally, let me not specify that bank. The manager who was in that bank is the one who has given explanation. I have a letter to that effect.
I have seen
my documents.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it has been clearly stated that I have serviced my loan. It's only that I have not finished, but I'm in good books. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I think you've done your best. On behalf of this assembly, we want to wish you the very best. And just not forget, we have some members of the public at the public gallery, supported by the name Jim Kitch, Cornelius Langat, Calebrono, and Katam. You are welcome, and thank you for maintaining decorum while at the public gallery. So, Honorable Ngeno, On behalf of the Assembly, and most especially this committee, we want to wish you the very best. The committee will retreat, come back with their reports, then the House will decide on your fate. Otherwise, as of now, we want to wish you the very best. I'll give you a minute to give a parting shot.
Okay, Chair and the honorable members, I thank you very much. Thank you for this fruitful engagement, and I hope, I know,
Proceed.
I look forward to positive response from this committee. Otherwise, thank you very much for the time that you have given me, and may God bless you.
Thank you. Be blessed too. Wishing you the very best. Members of the committee,